Thank you everyone for joining us today. Welcome to our broker webinar. My name is Michelle Ludwig. I'm a sales executive over here at Oscar, and today we'll be giving you a review of both Oscar and ICHRA. So I've been with Oscar for about 7 years now, but I have recently moved over to our completely new ICHRA focused team. So Oscar has definitely taken notice of the rising popularity of ICHRA. We see that this is what healthcare is going to look like for a lot of employer groups now. So we are investing in it. And now there's a full team here at Oscar directly behind it. So we're here to educate the markets about ICHRA. We work with all of the ICHRA administrators, and we just want to be here as a resource for all of you because, we're at the point with ICHRA now, it's happening, ready or not, it's happening. So if you aren't out there talking about ICHRA, there is somebody else who is. So, now you have a whole team to assist you over here at Oscar. So my contact information is up on the slide. Please reach out to me with whatever you need. Ashley Hayter, who is to the right of me, you'll also be hearing from her today. And as you have questions throughout this presentation, please enter them right into the chat box, and Ashley and I will address them at the end. So our agenda today, we're going to kind of divide up the content into two parts. I'll kick us off and just give an Oscar overview, remind everybody who Oscar is and what we do and what makes us different. And then I'll turn it over to Ashley, who's going to review ICHRA. She'll sort of give everybody an ICHRA 101. What is it? Why should we be paying attention to it? When is it a good fit? When is it not? All right, so I will jump right in, and I wanted to start off today by just showing everybody what Oscar looks like today. So we now have an individual product in 18 states across the country. So that's a very long way, from when Oscar first launched at the start of the ACA. Since then, we've just continued to grow, continued to scale, and Oscar now insures over 1.5 million members. So that's a lot of members. So when an individual is choosing their health plan carrier, why are they choosing Oscar? So what we do at Oscar has always sort of been different. We are the first health insurance carrier to put the member at the center of everything we do. And we use technology to give that member just an overall elevated experience with their health insurance carrier. So our members like that, and our 66 NPS score absolutely reflects this. That is the industry leading NPS score by far. So it's something that we're very proud of at Oscar, especially since the other carriers tend to have NPS scores in the negatives. So we have this opportunity to engage with our members through our technology. We make it so easy for the members to navigate their healthcare that they actually use it and engage with it. So which ultimately leads to lower out-of-pocket expenses for our members. So while technology, our technology is the best there is out there, we still do believe in the need for that human touch. So that's why every Oscar member gets a dedicated concierge team assigned right to them. So it's a team of 4 care guides and a nurse. And for our members, each time they call us or they message in, they only deal with the same small team of people. So they become familiar with each other, and the relationships form. These teams are based right out of Tempe, Arizona, and they're there to help our members with anything that they need. So anything from claims, questions, provider searches, they'll even go as far as to book the doctor's appointment for the member. So this is just a totally different and unique customer service model that we do over here. It makes us stand out from the traditional carriers out there where the member just calls into the 800 number that they have on the back of the ID card and that's it. This is a very different approach. And then we have our Oscar virtual care included in our plans. So our members can virtually connect with a provider in as little as 15 minutes to just get that quick care for those easy common concerns like sore throats or pink eye, things like that. We also recently started allowing for prescription refills through our virtual urgent care as well. So this just will save our members time and saves them money on their copay. And on Oscar plans, non-HSA plans, it's always free and it's always unlimited and available 24/7. So then we have this industry-leading world-class mobile app that we love to talk about. This is an app that members actually use. So for example, I just spoke about our virtual urgent care. That can be accessed through our app. But with our app, you just have to hit one button in the middle of the screen and you have a doctor calling you back within 15 minutes. It's just that easy to navigate. And when you make it that easy, people use it. It also allows for our members to chat back and forth with that dedicated concierge team that I was talking to you about. They don't even have to call in anymore if they don't want. They just send a message to their care team through the app, ask the question, they get a reply back. The ID card's right on there. They can search up any kind of doctor that they want to see, search by specialist, check, who is in network, see what tier their medication might fall under their plan. The list goes on and on. The Oscar app is just filled with a lot of easy features for our members to take advantage of. All right, so diabetes is the #1 chronic condition among our membership. So in several of our states, we've now introduced these diabetes silver plans. So these plans offer benefits like $0 copays on diabetes related expenses, things like lab screenings, PCP visits, eye exams. There's an insulin cap of $100 per month. So keep a lookout for these plans. We hope these plans, will just be helpful for our members who do need them. And we've also created Hola Oscar. So this is an end-to-end Spanish experience for, what is now over 250,000 Spanish-speaking members of ours. So this includes marketing materials and materials that go out to our members, their welcome kits. We have dedicated care teams that speak Spanish who often link the member with Spanish-speaking providers as well. So our members can get the care that they need in the language that they feel most comfortable with. So I won't go through all of these, but you could see up here all of our valued partners. We use CVS Caremark as our exclusive pharmacy vendor. All of our plans include pediatric vision. We use Davis for that. And Oscar members can access both Quest and LabCorp for labs. Also, please feel free to jump online, click around our website. It's hioscar.com/brokers. It'll take you to all of our plan docs, our network overviews for all of the 18 states that we're in. So there's great training material up there. You can do network searches, you can get appointed, lots to do on there. And then here is your national Oscar sales team for our individual plans. So I would take a screenshot of this page if you can. You can see the states that each of the team works in, and they're experts in their states. Reach out to them with any questions that you may have. And you know that Oscar offers individual plans in the 18 states that we're in, but now through ICHRA, employer groups are going to have access to Oscar as well. So here's where I'll pass it over to you, Ashley, who is going to dive into the ICHRA portion of this webinar.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for passing it over, Michelle. Let's jump right into ICHRA and how it can help expand the Oscar individual market. So ICHRA, which is the Individual Coverage Health Reimbursement Arrangement, is a fundamentally different way to offer coverage to employees. This new and exciting arrangement is already gaining momentum as we have seen a 29% growth over the last year. We are now seeing over 500,000 employees enrolled through ICHRA plans, and this can also include the large group market as well, as we've seen even more traction there with an 89% increase in enrollments over the past year. It's huge. ICHRA is also a great solution for employers that maybe cannot offer coverage previously, as we have noticed that 4 out of 5 of the employers that provide ICHRA now previously did not offer coverage. This opens the door for those employers that maybe didn't meet underwriting guideline requirements or eligibility eligibility and participation requirements. And this also means you, as the broker, can now go to those groups with a great solution in hand. We also see ICHRA as another solution based on the cost. You can see on this slide here that over the last decade, we've seen a 45% increase in premiums on the group space. Even more recently, the last 6 years, we have seen an average increase of 22% in the group premiums, which is becoming harder and harder for these groups to afford and keep their business open, especially with other rising inflation costs and outside costs that are not pertaining to the health insurance side. Not only are we seeing the premiums increase, but the benefits are now costing more as well. On this slide, we can also see that in the last 10 years, the deductibles for the group plans have increased an average of 50%, meaning we're paying more while our plans are covering less. And who wants that? The current group plan option employers have now are either shifting risk to the insurance company, like with the fully insured options, or assuming the risk of employee medical expenses, which we see happen on the self-funded side. Whether the employer goes with the fully insured option, where rate increases are unpredictable and unexpected, or the self-funded option, where costs of medical expenses are unpredictable, the employers are facing unpredictable costs that they will have to deal with, which is why ICHRA has come into play as a great solution. ICHRA allows employees to move into the ACA risk pool and empowers them to choose their own plans and benefits. This leaves the employer to focus more on what they do best, which is run their business, and focus less on how to maintain benefits. ICHRA is unlike any other model out there. It simply allows the employer to provide the funds to the employees, and the employees go ahead and purchase their individual plan. They will be joining the ACA risk pool, which I know most people are like, how could this be good? What is the ACA? But don't worry, the ACA has become one of the fastest growing markets out there and is becoming increasingly more stable. We have seen over the past 6 years that the ACA has taken an average of 2% increase in premiums, and their benefits are not covering less like we've seen on the group side. With ICHRA, we can expand the individual insurance beyond the traditional ACA and open the door for groups to now access OSCAR plans. On this slide, we show the addressable market, and here you can see we have about 21 million enrolled in the ACA today, making it extremely stable and allowing us to get the stable increases we are seeing. If we continue to add to the ACA from the addressable group market of about 75 million, which is the 35 million under 50 employer or the 40 million of the under 1,000 group employer, that ACA market will only become more stable and the plans will only become better since they address the individual needs of the people choosing those plans and enrolling into them. We see this ACA market growing because of the increasing employer costs, and with more people working remote and in different locations, the eligibility requirements for groups are going to be harder and harder to meet, which allows ICHRA to truly be the best solution in most cases. And here on this slide, which is one of my favorite slides because it shows an example on how it can not only be a solution for the employer, but the employee as well. Take Eric, a small business owner of about 30 employees, who on the current group model is facing high renewal increases. I mean, I know you've all seen your group renewals lately and you might be flabbergasted, I know I am, at the double-digit increases. Well, Eric, the business owner, is too. And with those increases, he's going to have to cut budgets elsewhere to maintain his coverage or choose to go to a different lower cost option, thus leading to ICHRA as the solution. He can offer ICHRA and have a flat year-over-year cost for his coverage because with ICHRA, he is setting his defined contribution amount and he doesn't have to increase that if he doesn't want to. He can have the same amount year-over-year or increase it by an amount he can afford and is comfortable with. He is also able to save 15% due to switching to ICHRA because he can decide what he wants to contribute and still provide his employees with enough funds to cover their premiums and cover maybe even more than what was covered on the original group plan. Now we go to the employee side, who may be nervous to switch to an individual plan, but that is because they do not understand the benefits it can provide. Let's take Rebecca here, who is a type 1 diabetic and is currently on a plan from a regular group model. She's having to choose from one single carrier since we know groups cannot provide multiple carrier options. And of that one carrier, she has to choose between only 3 different plans. Plans that are selected by the employer, and you know they're to be generic and fit all employees enrolling, and they're not catered to specific medical needs. Whereas if she was offered an ICHRA plan, she can now choose from over 100 different plan options, and some of those options can cater to her specific medical needs for diabetes. Like Michelle mentioned earlier, Oscar has a diabetic plan that she would be able to enroll into, one that caps her insulin. So now instead of paying $1,200 out of pocket a year, she's only paying $300 out of pocket a year. And not only is she seeing savings on the premium end, but for her benefits as well. So as you can see here, in this case, ICHRA is a win-win solution for both the employer and the employee. Now, we spoke about ICHRA, or I'm sorry, we spoke about how in that case, ICHRA was a win-win above. However, who does ICHRA really work for? On this slide, you can see ICHRA is available for all groups of any size, but these are the types of groups we see typically enrolling into the ICHRA space. A lot of groups that are new to benefits since they're not familiar with any other group model and will often have to worry about change. Recently qualified ALE, which is applicable large group, oftentimes offer ICHRA so they can satisfy the employer mandates. We also see companies with high renewal rates, as we know those double-digit increases hit the small group market hard this year, and ICHRA can be a great solution so they do not have to switch their budget and can be budget makers instead of price takers. As we mentioned before, ICHRA does not have the same participation or underwriting guideline requirements as the regular group plan model do. So these groups that may not meet the eligibility or participation requirements are also going to be really great groups to present ICHRA to. And so here, lastly, on this slide, you can see how you can implement ICHRA for those clients. These platforms on the slide provide the technology to quote, enroll, and process the back-end payments for each employee to ensure a seamless process that is similar to the group model they are already in. We know employers and employees don't like change, which is why these platforms are here to help ensure the ICHRA process is seamless and easy to get, so there is little change to their usual enrollment and payment processes. Some of the platforms also provide client success teams that are there to help the members choose their plans, answer any questions they may have once they're enrolled, and help reach out to the carriers for the members. So you, as a broker, don't have to worry about that and can focus on what you do best, which is building those new client relationships. These platforms are the tool you need to start your ICHRA journey, and if you want to learn more or get connected with them, please reach out to us. And so here on this last slide, you're going to see our contact information. Please take a screenshot or jot down our emails, phone numbers, so that way if you do have questions regarding ICHRA and how it can fit into your portfolio for your groups, you can reach out to us and we can help you. We can also connect you with any of the ICHRA platform vendors and answer any questions regarding ICHRA. So with that, I'll open up the floor to answer any questions that may have popped up as we were presenting.
Thanks, Ashley. Yes, I have been watching the chat box, and there are a bunch of questions that I can just start reading off. Are the plans available on an ICHRA on exchange or off exchange?
Yeah, so the answer there is that employees can choose from either, but off exchange will be on a pre-tax basis. So with ICHRA, the incentive would be to write the off exchange plans, which the platforms do provide the off exchange and on exchange plan options.
Okay, so is Oscar administering ICHRA plans? This one comes up a lot.
Yeah, that's a great question. The answer is no. Oscar is just a carrier who sells an individual product in the 18 states we have. But we do partner with all the ICHRA administrators that you saw on the slide above and can definitely connect you with one that would be the best fit for you. So please reach out and we can discuss how and who would be a best fit for your book of business.
There's a question around subsidies. If they enroll, will the employee get a subsidy if they enroll in the ICHRA plan?
Great question. This one I think we see a lot too. So the answer is no. An employee cannot get both a subsidy and money from their employer. If anyone has further questions regarding the subsidies, just reach out and we can have a more in-depth conversation on the rules and regulations behind the subsidies and the ICHRA model.
Great. Who are you typically seeing enroll into ICHRA?
Yeah, so like we mentioned before, typically it's the new groups offering insurance for the first time. It's groups that are, just going over the 50 full-time employees, and now we're in that ALE space and need to satisfy that employer mandate. We also see just any size group who has real budgetary constraints and hit the point where they're unable to accept that double-digit increase for yet another year. Typical types of businesses be hospitality, retirement communities, restaurants, construction. Those type of businesses are going to be ones where ICHRA can really be a game changer for the coverage provided.
Great. There's one more, and I think this is an important one that we should drive home. Does ICHRA need to be offered to the whole group?
Yes, great one here. No, you can offer a group health plan and ICHRA to different classes within the group. However, you cannot offer ICHRA and the regular group coverage to the same class. So for more information on that and the different class options ICHRA has, because there are 12 different ones, feel free to reach out and we can always go over it offline.
Perfect. Thank you so much for answering those questions. That's about it. Anybody, you've been looking at our contact information up here for long enough now. You just reach out to us directly. We'll answer anything. We could set up a quick call. We could connect you with those ICHRA vendors that make all of this, seem just run very smoothly. So we look forward to working with everybody and just continuing on this ICHRA journey together. So thank you.
Thank you guys. Everyone have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye, you too.